Hi, Luminaires! Welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time to Jamie Butler-Medium channel on YouTube, please know I love engagement. Put your fingers to the keyboard, ask questions. I am watching. Today I want to talk about the alignment of our chakras. We've talked a lot about a chakra here, but today I learned something new. And maybe some of you were over on Learn It Live with me a few hours ago. We were doing a chakra alignment healing, remote, of course. And I share after I do the healing what I've seen and what happened. And you would have seen this face. Because I like it when I come across something new that I didn't know to do. And there's so much of that. Trust me, I am still, even a whole lifetime invested into this, 30 years as a career, I am still discovering something new. And so this is what I discovered. So we're talking about chakras. Let's get these guys out. Quick shout out to Mary Lloyd. Thank you so much for buying me golf balls because I like to use them as like a metaphor to our chakra comparison. This is pretty much the size and shape of our chakra, golf ball. And what I like about it, see those little divots? Our chakras are like that as well. And they're color coded for your convenience because they run different frequencies and vibrations. So when we see light bounce off of them, they're color coded. How much fun is that? So today in the healing, I was balancing and aligning from from earth chakra to higher consciousness chakra. Traditionally, when we talk about the chakras that relate to us as being human, we talk about the 7 similar as a rainbow. But in most cultures, they talk about 6 because only 6 are located within our physical body. And often they won't talk about them in these colors. They'll take the third eye and make the third eye purple, and that is the rainbow in the physical body. But what I've seen in traveling around the world as well, looking at people's energy fields and chakras, I have noticed that yes, there are 2 blues in our chakra system. Red, orange, yellow, green is the heart, light blue or sky blue is our throat, and the indigo here on the end is our third eye. And then the crown chakra that rests outside of our body, which is one of the first chakras we use on a daily basis that's located outside of our physical body, tends to be more purple to me through my experiences than white. Because in most cultures or Eastern cultures, they will look at the chakra system as being this way. Here we go. No indigo. But for me, the third eye is very, very indigo. So I would love to hear what you have learned, especially if you're in a different environment than United States, where we're kind of, in my latent opinion, centuries behind other cultures that have been engaging with energetic systems and bodies. So Samantha Pika says, hi, everybody. Amora, you shine the chakra system and hearts so well. Oh, Colleen, thank you. Okay, Colleen just posted the healing over on Learn It Live. So here were some of the things that I discovered today. Of course, I know, and I teach this in my classes, that our chakra systems have certain rotations, just like planets do around their axis, just like planets do around the sun. So there is an individual rotation with each chakra, and a chakra is a sphere. It's not flat like a piece of paper, and it has a rotation. Now they alternate in rotation. When you find somebody who is healthy and allowing their chakra system to work naturally, like the way it's meant to, you'll find that starting in our physical body here, the red rotates clockwise, orange counterclockwise, yellow clockwise, green counterclockwise. I'm certain you're seeing the pattern. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right. That's not in our body, neither is this one, but we're going to talk about that. And they spin alternating to communicate to each other. So when one is spinning clockwise, meaning to the right, It's throwing energy up from the right side, and then the next chakra is spinning to the left, and it's able to grab that energy and throw it up on the left hand side. And it makes this serpentine pattern in your energy. Now, I've been so in love with the entire system, I see it as a complete system, and that the energy is weaving in and out all the way to the top and then back down in a serpentine pattern. Today in the healing, I was reminded there are so many more layers than that, which got me really excited. Do they ever stop rotating altogether with intense experiences or injuries, or just differently? Ask Samora. Yes, they can stop spinning. There's a story that I like to tell. Hi, Regina. There's a story I like to tell. You might have heard this one already, but with my son, I came home one day and he was on the floor in tears. My husband was doing the dishes, not really paying attention to my son, which is not his MO. He is so hands on and loving as a father. So it was confusing to see it work out this way. And I came in and asked my husband, like, what is going on? He goes, I don't know. This is your territory. I have no idea what's happening. So I went over there and I was like, baby, what's going on? And my son is crying. He's curled up in a ball. He's got his hands interlaced over his belly button and he's all curled up. He says, it's broken. I broke it. I broke it. It's broken. Sobbing, gasping for breath, like one of those. And I was like, baby, what's ever broken, we can look at it. We can try to fix it if we can. If not, we can see if we can buy another. But let's work on this. Can you show me what's broken? Crickets. Finally, after some coaxing, he laid on his back and he dramatically peeled his fingers apart, and showed me his belly button. And I was like, can't break that. What's going on? I was like, oh, I got to turn on my eyesight. I got to look. And I looked, and his chakra was not spinning. It was the sacral orange chakra, but it wasn't orange either. It was brown. It had lost its color. And yes, your chakras can lose their color or change color, and it stopped moving. So I asked him, I said, okay, can you point to it? And he pointed just beneath his belly button where the sacral chakra is located. And to gather more information, I said, well, does it have a color? And he said, yes. And I said, well, what is it? And he said, it's brown. And he started crying, like hysterical. And I said, do you not like the color brown? He goes, no, mama. I said, is it supposed to be another color? He said, yes. I go, what? He goes, orange. About lost my mind. And I said, well, that's okay. And he goes, no, I broke it. I broke it. I said, what do you mean? He goes, it's not moving. That little boy, who I taught nothing to, knew it was moving before and not moving then. So he was constipated into the story, and his body was absorbing the energy from the chakra to help move his bowels. But there wasn't any extra attention or healing coming into the chakra. So his chakra kind of just lost its, I want to say revitalization. Is that the word? And took all the energy. So we put the energy back in it, did some massage, and once he had bowel movement, it was orange and spinning. He told me the next day, it fixed, mama, it fixed. Of course, I wanted to have like full 10-hour conversations about this, but this little kid, he's like 3.5, wanted nothing to do with it. He was like, next topic, and running off. So yes, they can stop spinning. When they spin, though, they communicate to each other in that serpentine pattern. So like I mentioned before, get excited about the entire communication. Today in the healing, they specifically would filter through the light energy of the serpentine pattern itself, and they would separate and highlight the spin, highlight the communication of two, and then the 3 and the 4, and then highlight these 2 individuals, highlight this. And so I got to see the many, many layers of this serpentine energy that helps our chakras communicate. Now, when they're spinning in alternate patterned waves, they can share more energy and share more light with each other. So that makes it easier for them. Now, as you know, we are humans and not all of us take the easy path. So you can alter the change. Let's say green, heart. It spins counterclockwise, meaning if you anchor to your feet and you spin to the left side, so it spins this way, that's going to be counterclockwise. It has more of a negative energy currency. Negative does not mean bad here. This is just the characteristic of the quality of energy. But if you're thinking good and bad, those are judgments. I'm talking positive, negative as quality of energy, not judgments. So spins to the left, it helps us express our emotions, right? To ride the wave, change. Emotions change. Negative current energy, counterclockwise energy, feeds that change, just like the moon changes its face, not like the sun, very different. But if you are somebody who wants to be very in control over your emotions and doesn't want anybody else to see them, like, I can't share, I gotta hold back, can't, then you can spin the sucker right. So if you anchor to your feet and watch the movement of your chakra and it touches the right hand first, then we have a clockwise spin, which has more masculine energy, which is more consistent, more like the sun, it's more fixed, and we're more in control. So we can change the spin of our chakras depending on what we are requiring or needing in a situation or in that moment. Does it make it overall easier for you to share your energy from the tip of your toes to the top of your head? No, it does not. So today, when we did the healing, I was a little bit nervous because we were going to alternate spins, and not everybody has their chakras lined up this way. So we had to ask permission, like straight up. Do you give us permission to change the spin of your chakras? You have to agree with us before we do this. It was almost like signing a waiver of going on a roller coaster ride. Like, you might be injured if you do not keep your arms and legs within the ride at all times. And I was like, God, this is pretty serious. So it was really wonderful um, to see all the permission and to see all the movement in everybody's chakras. And it's fun when I do remote healing, I'm focused on the people who are watching, I focus on the people who will rewatch it, and I focus on the people who will watch it later. So it's like this multi-time layered experience. Even though we have like 20 something watching live, I can see about 80 people who are in it. And it's like, I don't know when they'll show up, but I included them. It was really cool. Thank you so much, Shelley, for the financial energy and support. I really appreciate that. Amy Garcia, Luminaire. If a chakra stopped, wouldn't it affect all the chakras? It would slow the system down. It wouldn't necessarily make other chakras stop spinning or communicating, but yes, they would get less energy communication from the one that stopped and stagnant. So then they would have to overwork to get their job accomplished. So what would be nice is, just like we dust our houses, we brush our teeth, we comb our hair, how cool would it be every day if we ran some form of attention or acknowledgement to our chakra system and got the chakras spinning in a way where they were more abundant? I mean, isn't that some of your mantras out there? To be abundant? Amber says, this makes so much sense now. I feel my solar and throat interact a lot, and I even feel a flutter in my heart chakra when this happens. That is so wonderful. Little heart being in the middle, like the Oreo cookie, and the throat, solar on either side. Amy's going back and saying, did you mention using a pendulum to determine which way a chakra is spinning? I didn't, but I really like where you're going. And I do that quite a bit, especially when I'm teaching classes. Those of you who were with us in Peru, they all had their chakra, their pendulums, and we would sit down and talk about what emotional triggers or outbursts would change the chakra into what shape, into what spin. So we did a lot of acting in class, which was sometimes uncomfortable, but it showed a lot in how the chakra was reacting. And then we would get dowsing rods, little L-shaped rods that would move and show us where the edges of a person's energy field was. So if we were asking them to think or pretend a certain way, we could measure the chakra and then the energetic field. And then we'd ask them the opposite emotion or action and start thinking about that and then gauge the differences. It's really wild when you see how easy your energetic field shifts and changes to match what thoughts you're holding. It's really important to tap in and start looking at what are you thinking? Eponymous. Anyone ever experienced floating sensation in the solar plexus area? I experienced this at night for a short while, never knew what it meant, but it introduced me to spirituality. Ooh. Have you ever played around with a hypnagogic state? And I'm curious, if you experience it at night for a short while, that sounds like the hypnagogic state. It's when you're in bed and you're about to fall asleep. And what this does is the conscious and the subconscious are kind of on an equal playing field. So they're meeting halfway. And just for a brief moment, everything is together. And then you fall asleep. And when you fall asleep, the subconscious rises and the conscious gets a break and rests, starts to unravel, helps feed our dreams and so forth. But if it's that very moment and you're engaged in your energetic body, like you're mentioning, you can feel those sensations. Even have body dysmorphia, where you feel like your tongue is too fat, your head is too big, your arms are flipping backwards. Craziness, but it's a great place to communicate with energy and spirit. Amor is asking, have I seen the earthing mats? Do you think they really work? May invest in one day. I have seen them. I have tried them. I like them a lot. I think it is best to become intimate with your energy and what it's needing, because we don't always need the earthing mat. But there are some times we really, really do. So if you know that sensation and how to dose yourself with it, I say go for it. But if you're somebody who's like, I don't know, I hear everybody likes it, I'm just going to use it all the time, put it on my bed, I'm going to sleep on it every night, I would say, hold off, okay? Why don't you take some time in becoming more sensitive with your own energetic body? Get to know it. That's like saying, hey, I hear ibuprofen is really good, so I'm just going to take one a day. And you don't even know when you're in pain and when you're not. So it does alter the energetic field. It does cleanse it and get you more grounded. I like tools. I am an advocate of tools. But I first and foremost want to remind you, your body is a tool. Your body is the instrument. Let's get used to this thing. But external tools can really help us become intimate with how we do work. So if you need that assistance, I am all for taking it. I hope that made sense. Ooh, Regina, I finally got my aura photo and it was red. Were you excited? Red is very grounded. Were you on a grounding earth mat? That would be hysterical. I'm betting you weren't, but with everything that's going on in your life, when you're expressing red root energy, that is so much about life, living, surviving, maybe reworking some finances, maybe discovering who you want to be when you grow up. This is all that red energy. So I'd be curious to know what you were going through when you got your aura photographed. Eponymous. Thanks for the explanation. Experience the body parts too fat, too thin, or thin all my life. Really? Body dysmorphia. That is a sign that you're going into an altered state of consciousness. So hit the bell. You're doing something. Amoras. Some people's naturally spin the opposite way, correct? Naturally spin? I wouldn't think it's a natural spin. I think it would be something that they created for themselves, whether it was through trauma, maybe a birth trauma, or accident, injury, or emotional or mental wound or abuse. But naturally, when the body is left without, and like when you come into laughter, this is, I so want to cuss right now. No lie. This is not a lie right now. I have witnessed people's energies. I like to always bring up the lovely Alex Kiss, who was a friend of mine a long time ago, studying to be a Navy SEAL, and he kept his chakras spinning all right. There was no serpentine pattern. All of them spent to the right, masculine, in control. And you need that. Like he was doing that on purpose. But when you watch a person laugh or have these fits of joy, where they just go, oh my God, I just love my life. Like, this is so wonderful. That over the top thing, boom, all of their chakras are alternating spin. And then as soon as they come off the high and they remember where they are in life, what situations they're managing, what they need to be leading or in control over, whew, the chakras will go back to spinning the way that they are maintained. But when left to a natural state, they will alternate. That's the easiest way for it to function. That's like, I forget what this is called, but my husband and my daughter have it. When there's too much pain, they pass out. So when there's too much pain and you're processing, you're trying to control. Not a lot of people know how to say, oh, I'm having pain. I'm just going to accept it and let it wash over me. That is very mindful action. In general, people will react to pain with more tension. Oh, it hurts. Instead of, that hurts really bad. I have to clue people in when I'm in pain. I know it doesn't look like I'm in pain, but I'm really freaked out right now. And I am in so much pain, I can barely understand or stay in my body. And I'm talking just this calm. It's awkward, but good communication helps. So, anyways, um, when you're in your pain, you tense up. So you're controlling and shaping your chakras. The moment they pass out, all their chakras go back to normal, and you're clenching your breath that comes back into this ease and this very accepting pattern, even though the body might be processing high levels of pain. Fainting, mindfulness, can we link those two right now? I don't know. Why not? Regina says, I'm living and discovering myself again. That's a very beautiful red energy. I don't know why these lower chakras get such a bad rap. Like, oh, when I want my org taken, I want to see purple and white and blue. Like, it's that old human way of thinking. Climb to the top of the ladder, be the president of something, not the janitor. That's such baloney. Object of the game is to be happy. You can be happy wherever you are. You just have to make choices. Object of the energetic game with our chakras is to have all of them active, not just the higher, cooler colored ones that represent spirituality and above and beyond and spirit communication. You awake now? That's not the name of the game. We need all of them to function properly. So I totally celebrate your red and finding your new you. I love it. Samantha Picca. Hi, Jamie. I'm just curious. What is your favorite visualization to align your chakras to spin more favorable directions? I'm digging your question. Samantha, I think my favorite one, I have two. I do have two. Is one that was taught to me by Maitland, and that is pretending that your chakras are balloons and you're breathing in to the balloon, making it really, really big. So you breathe into red root, make it huge. And then when you breathe out, it shrinks. And as it's shrinking, it's only collecting the energy that will make it function to its highest health, wealth, and purpose. And it's releasing everything else. And then you go to the next one and you blow it up like a balloon and you release it. And then the third breath is blowing up both of them together in relationship. And then you go to yellow and then you do all three, green, all four, blue, you get the rhythm. Until at the end, you're breathing one breath and you're blowing up 7 balloons of chakras and then calling them back into your body. I really like that one. And that one tends to get the energy moving really, really fast. Also because you're in this pranayama, this breath work rhythm. It's actually, I take 3 breaths into red, then 3 breaths into orange, and then 3 breaths together, blowing both balloons up. 3 breaths into yellow, 3 breaths into 3. I use sets of 3. The other one is the imaginary pitcher of water that fills up with the color that your body is needing. And you imagine grabbing it and pouring it onto the chakra, and everything that's not needed floats to the surface and floats out of it. And then with this pure light colored energy in the pitcher, it sends the chakra spinning in the direction that's required, that's needed. Those are my 2 favorites. Let's see. You guys are so much fun. Elise, Jamie, is it true that the lower 3 chakras are exclusive to Earth but not higher realms? Traditionally, yes. Yeah, they are lower, denser frequencies, which is not bad at all. So these 4. And we need them to stay connected to human life, earth life, purpose, the body. And then when we get connected to those, imagine the amount of energy that it pulls from the earth. Oh my God, I didn't even share with you guys what happened in the healing today. Okay, I only shared one thing. I got 2 more to share. When we connect to the earth, the amount of energy that we can pull up and share with the earth energy, abundant amount of energy then comes to the heart and to the throat and our speaking, to our psychic vision, to our connection to beyond and higher realms and dimensions above us. So without that, we're really shooting ourselves in the foot. We're just driving around with a half tank of gas all the time, constantly needing to refill. We have a full tank of gas, we can go much, much longer and further. So 2 other things. When I was working on the lower chakras, earth and root, I had some entities show up that I hadn't met before. So if you know who they are, please engage with me. The lower ones, this dark energy with long arms and awkward looking hands, all in a shadow black color, came up and I was like, ooh, visually, not so comfortable looking at that. What's happening? Like, my human side was like, alert, alert, warning, this is a mystery. You should be nervous and protective. And so I had to sit with that and go, meh, but why would they be here? I'm not calling forth, I'm not creating anything like this. And I was told they were called dark angels. Never heard the term before. If you've heard it, please enlighten me. And they were beautiful. The way they would take what energy you could not use, they never took what you could use. They let that stay with you. But they would feed off of what you couldn't process. They were recyclers. And when they would do this, there was these gold flecks of light I kept seeing around, almost as they were pulling the energy from the chakras and from the auric field. And so that happened, and I had not seen that before. Thankfully, the dark angels exist. Yes, right? I was told that they are from the earth and they feed and resonate off of denser energies, and they really help keep that balance. But there was something so beautiful about it. Amber saying, I had a dream before of the long black hand being and had glowing red eyes, but not sure if it's the same thing. I hope so. LOL. I hope so too. I didn't see red glowing eyes. I used to have visions of those red glowing eyes, and I did not feel safe. These didn't have that. Like, I couldn't see their face. It's like they were hooded or had something covering them. The only thing I could see really clear is they had extra long arms and awkwardly shaped digits, but very humanoid. How interesting, says Alexandra. So part of the elemental realm, perhaps? Yeah, that sounds in alignment, yes. Maggie Smith says, sort of like Sun Eaters from Apachula. How do I say that? Appalachia lore. Appalachia has lore? I don't know of the Sun Eaters. That is really interesting. Do you feel cold when the dark angel showed up? Asked Judy. No, my temperature didn't change. Just my shock of seeing them changed. I was like, what's that? Dark angels are transdimensional, correct? Says Barrett. Yes, I would agree. Samantha Picca says, I saw a man like this in my bedroom when I was young, very tall. Yeah, they're tall. They're very tall. And, when I visually look at them, it's like, I don't know what you are. And I get a little nervous and a little scared. But then as soon as I observe what they're doing, no fear, no scared, nothing. Really, really beautiful. And Moore is asking, have I seen fairies before? Only a handful of times. Traditionally, they're not on my bandwidth. Same with angels. They're just really not on that. I'm more in alignment. And I think I just taught myself how to do this as a kid, is to see people's spirit team and to communicate to people who've transitioned, humans who have transitioned. That's what I do really well. So it's interesting. Sheldon says, I'm aware of dark angels, but I only feel them. I have never seen one. They help people release. Sheldon, that was exactly what was happening. They help people release. Like they were taking what the person could no longer use or process, just grabbing it. And these gold flecks would shine from it. It was so intriguing. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking about it. I keep looking over there because that's where they were, but they're not there anymore. Maggie Smith says, I've seen shadow people feeding, but my take is that they were negative. Different? Yeah, I think those are different. I've seen those with those strange, mouths, layers and layers of, teeth. Very, very strange. And they feed, they take. It wasn't like that. It was different. Jamie, how often do entities you see freak you out? Not often. Not often. I think they freak me out only when they trigger maybe something that I believed was scary or bad. And then I have to really check my mind in, check my mental game. Okay, I want to share one other thing with you. So we were doing the healing today, alternating spins, really getting a ton of energy to move up from the feet to the top of the head and back down. It was this flushing. It was crazy. If you want some energy to move through your body, check out the healing today. We got to the sacral and I immediately started sweating. Just my back was dripping with sweat. It was kind of weird. That's not the thing I want to share. I want to share about this sucker. We got to the third eye. And you remember how I mentioned the divots? Those divots are little tiny vortexes in the chakra. They kind of look like a divot, but maybe not so perfect. Some vortexes are a little bit larger, some are a little bit smaller, just because that's what's needed, and they run energy from the energy field around you into the chakra, into the vortex, down into the cellular level. So bones, marrow, blood, tissue. That's the pathway to translate energy. And we can reverse that, and that's how you get the color of your energetic field. Nice, huh? That's why when you can see or sense or feel a person's energetic field, it's like getting a medical chart about that person and what they're doing, thinking, feeling at that time. It's incredible. So in the healing of the third eye, this angel, again, I'm learning still. This big entity came in and started to take the third eye and pluck the vortexes, stretch them out wide, and let go of them, and they would pop back in. And when they would do that, this closest thing I can describe it is like a paper ash, flat, black, light, floating energy would fall off of it. So the angel would get in there and pull all the vortexes up like a fluffing curly hair. You pull like a ringlet of hair and you let go of it and it kind of snaps back in. I've never in my life seen this before. If somebody has heard of it, I would love to have a conversation about it. I have seen the vortexes before. That's not something new to me, but I never knew we could manipulate those vortexes. That was amazing. Then, when we got all the way through to the higher consciousness chakra, which does not spin, it pulses, like vibrates, it has a rhythm. Pop, pop, pop. It does it differently because this is not of our 3D world. It does not need to spin. It functions differently. The angels went back and took the whole system and started to pull out the vortexes and let them collapse back in. And it was like shaking out that last bit of stuff that was ingrained into the chakra. I mean, there was at times I was nauseous, I was dizzy, I was breathing, and I was like, "Oh, please don't let the people feel this dizzy." And even afterwards, some were saying that, yeah, they got really dizzy, but they were doing breath work. I was some intense work on like a 33-minute healing. Yeah, KDP, stretching? That's a new one. Yes, it was so Amber. I felt burning in my throat and head as soon as you began the session. Why would this be? So we were moving tons of energy, starting at the root first. So if you were feeling burning in other locations, it was just some blocks that we hadn't got to yet. So we were running bulk amount of energy. Any kind of resistance or discomfort you're feeling in your chakras is traditionally related to a blockage, or the chakra doesn't know how to run an abundant amount of energy without having side effects. So when we tap in and we do these kinds of healings, pranic healing, Reiki, there's many other kinds of hands-on healing. Prayer does this for us. When we get into prayer about ourselves and about our health and our immune system and our strength, that's naturally looking at our energetic body, and it polishes it and it makes it bigger and healthier. But if we're not doing that on a constant daily basis, sometimes our reactions to our day-to-day environment, our disappointment, our pain, our suffering, our expectations unmet, needs unmet, can clog up how our system is working. So when we're running energy, you get that resistance. I hope that makes sense. I can hear Maitland every time I say that. Does that make sense? And she'll ask me, does that make sense? I'm like, yes, Maitland, that makes sense. KDP, what happens to chakras during or after we cross over? I've always wondered that. Well, I can speak to about what I know. So I have gone to a lot of funerals, open caskets. I've been with animals as they've transitioned. And commonly, I'm focused on just the 7 main ones, 6 that are located in our body, and then this purple one is located outside of our body on top of our head. And during death, the light dims, but the color does not dim. The color does not go out. The brightness of the energy dims because they're absorbing it and having their internal journey, closing up their thoughts, releasing their physical body. They're doing all of that. And then sometimes the color will stay for days in the body. It's not bright, but it's still there. I mean, there have been saints and gurus whose body don't even decompose. It's not decomposing because energy is still running through it, still feeding the tissue enough to where it will not decompose. Now, I've also seen it where after a day, or even like at the end of a viewing at a funeral on a person, their light is totally off. It's dim, there's no more color, they're out of there. It definitely works a little bit different when the body has been embalmed because a lot of the energy, think about it, what our chakras do is they connect the energy in our field into the mechanism of the body, down to the DNA, straight to the endocrine gland that's resting right behind it, that feeds the hormones, that keeps the balance, feeds the bones, the tissue, the marrow, the blood, like all of it, muscle. So when all of that is scooped out, then the chakra is left not being able to anchor itself into the parts of the body. Please do not let that interfere with your idea of donating your body to science or donating your organs, because in my opinion, we do not need our body after we transition. It has been a wonderful instrument and a tool. And if you feel that somebody else can use your tool after you leave it, please continue to do so. It's not going to mess with your journey beyond. But if you want to keep your tool and keep it together, good. I'm happy for you. So be it. There is no right or wrong choice. Derek, I'm a donor. I'm a donor too. So Katie says, it pulls out the info and energy and takes it with it to the next dimension. Yes. So in your spirit body, you still have these centers. They're just not rooted to the physical body anymore. They're rooted to your energetic body or your spirit body. Cool. Shelly Ham, Maitland was so funny yesterday. She was having problems pronouncing some words. She wanted to make me laugh so hard. Oh, I don't remember this. I'm happy that she put a giggle on your face. Does spirit have anything to do or say about choosing cremation over burial? No. It's your body to honor the way that you want. So it really depends on your belief systems. We've got to go back and really take into a larger concept that our belief systems create our truth. And that's the bottom line. And I know it's kind of like, oh, Jamie, that's so simple to say. Are you sure? But if we believe that cremation is going to set us free, and that if I bury my entire body that I've lived in, that I won't know how to be without it, seeing it buried in a box, and I'm going to have a difficult time. So you keep believing that, and you will create that. We are humans. We are the co-creators. So what you believe in is what you're going to make for yourself. So if cremation is what's going to set you free, then so be it. If it's embalming the body and protecting it and keeping it whole is what's going to set you free and honor that human life, so be it. There's so many different ways that we could honor our transition into the next. Makes it sound so linear, though it's not. Into the, even afterlife makes it sound very linear. Into the original home life. So many different ways that we can honor it. Find one that really suits you. And I hope that you're brave enough to talk to your family about it now and not just leave it secretly written on a piece of paper, and really prep your family on how you want to be honored. We talk about it all the time in our family. I tell my family, if I go early, which is not going to be the case, but I like to talk about it. If I go early, build me a cedar box and burn me. I want to smell the cedar. I want to be the smoke. I want to be free of this. Of course, after all my organs are donated, except my eyeballs. I don't know why. I just don't want to donate them. We're all so different, guys. It's fun. So, who is this? What are you doing? Barrett, thank you so much for that financial energy. That is the sweetest. Thank you so much, Barrett. Oh, goodness. I hope you bought your shirt and it wasn't gifted to you by someone. It was gifted to me. Liz Raskin, I'm calling you out. She gave me this shirt, but she also gave my friend Marla the same shirt, and she has the same shirt, and we are the hysterical female. Alexandra, how cool that high energy individuals still have semi-functioning chakras for some time after death. Yes, it brings home just how physiological, not just spiritual energy truly is. Yes, I agree. You're just now seeing the shirt. Carol, how is Carol? Past lives are all concurrent, so no time or space. Cheers. Let's drink to that. That's what's going down. Cheers. We just got to talk about it a million times before our little linear head can wrap it around and just go, okay, this is how things are existing. Maggie Smith says, I'm more concerned about what my family and friends need for the transition. Then maybe sitting down and talking to them will make your final choices of how you want to have yourself honored. I think it's perfectly fine that at that moment in time, we do not need our bodies. And that if your family will find more peace or more rest with a certain type of ritual, ceremony, protection of the body, or cremation, and you want to gift that to the family to help heal wounds, who am I to say don't do that? Because to me, that sounds really beautiful. We're all going to do our own thing. So I get it. Good luck with you, Maggie. Sheldon, did you know there are places in your body that can be buried with no casket? Yes, and it's recycled into Mother Earth. Yes, they usually plant a tree over your body. I love that. I have thought about buying a bunch of land and doing that for people. um, yes, there are those places. But I figured because people are afraid of the dead body because of disease or whatever they've been taught, to me, it would be so much easier to burn it. Mm. Every state has a park for natural burial of human bodies. Every state? I did not know that. I'm gonna look into that. Yes. Barrett's just briefly sharing that he's been having rabbits and birds stare him down lately. Are they like ready for you to transition? Marcella, hello. Thank you so much for being here today. Christopher is throwing out a really good conversation. Um, are you still aware that organs are harvested while you are still alive? Just checking. Yes and no, because I don't know in what context you're talking about it, because science can do this now, as well as multidimensionals. This is fun. We got into a dark, like, burial place, and you guys are like still hanging on. So I was talking about chakras and the crazy things that I learned today, which were about dark angels, the beams and layers of light between communication of just two chakras, and the infinite ways that one can talk to the next chakra, these layers of light. And the third thing I saw and learned today is that the vortexes in our chakras can be pulled out, snapped, and collected back in to clean it. Like, what in the crazy? I'm going to be using that in the future. So if you want to experience it, it's recorded over on Learn It Live. You can check it out. For me, I am going to say my farewell. Happy Friday. And at any point in the day where you can make a decision, please, 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 this is my begging, please choose happiness. Choose the one that is really going to bring you joy. Feed yourself this happiness and joy. When we have that level of happiness and joy, kindness comes easier. We're kind to ourselves. We're kinder to others. We have more bandwidth for patience. So don't avoid the chance to be happy. I hope everyone is doing well. Have a beautiful weekend. I will see you next week. Stay tuned. We have classes and workshops coming out and more healings. Can't wait to see you there. Bye, Luminaires. Take care of yourselves. Bye.